gosh. Oh God, it's Monday. And we're right down to the wire. Oh yes. It's Monday. I've got on my Diddy Dukes. Well, let me not shake too hard because y'all got a lot going on right now. But we here. Are we Diddy duked up? And are we oiled up? All right. Nonetheless, we are here. It's hot as hell. Okay. Hot, hotter than a devil's ass. Okay. Well, I'm trying to stay in the light, but right now I'm standing in the heat. I'm standing right here. Okay. But today is Monday. Not a lot of fireworks today. But we're going to get into all of that. Had a great weekend. Let you guys know about all that as well. But before we get started, I'm bit up. Jesus. But anyway, before we get started, let's hear from Duchess Kelly Love. Okay. Listen, Duchess, you have been a part of this whole trial with me, Dutch. Shout out to you.
All my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea.
Yes.
I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. We go down to the courthouse, bring the tea.
Here's our Diddy news.
Bring the tea. He is never biased. Bring the tea. I said that
all my wiggles,
bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. I want to thank all my bring the tea. I want to thank all my bring the tea. Oh, he's sassy and classy. Bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring
the tea. Thank you, Duchess. Thank you, boo. All right, guys, listen. The more oil fund is up, and babe, we go through a lot of bottles of baby oil over here, okay? So I need you guys to oil up, and let's get going. Also, can you guys tell my good girlfriend, Angela Yee, that you guys need me and want me back on the show? So spam her comments and let her know that you guys want me back so we get her attention, because I feel like I miss being on the radio. All right, so this weekend was really great. I went to where did I go? Oh, I went to Summer Jam. It was really, really cool. I met some people. I ran into Remy Ma. She was super nice. We had the whole backstage situation. I came as press, met some really dope people. It was fun. New York has been a blast. Okay, honestly, we've been doing our thing out here. We've been really loving it, and I've been loving meeting you guys as well. So that was cool. And then yesterday, I just kind of chilled out. Went to Central Park. Central Park is one of my favorite places to go. Set out at Central Park, had a nice time, reflected, and, got a little drunk. But we're here for Monday. And so I just want to let you guys know that I'm sad. I'm sad because it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that summer school or that last day of senior year. And, you start to appreciate how iconic your years were. And so as the days go on, I'm starting to realize how iconic this Diddy trial was. And, you all and all of us and our contribution to the coverage of this case. Like, this will literally go down into the YouTube archives of history. And we're having this moment together. So just take a moment and really reflect on how iconic this last 7 weeks were. We've had some really good memories together, from the oil to the Diddy Dukes to the staying in the light to the bacon, the turkey bacon, to all Capricorn Clark wanting was a life, to Chun Li and Cassie Diddy appearing out of nowhere, flicking a hanger at Carrie Morgan after choking her from behind, hanging Bana over the balcony by her yiddies. Okay? And telling Bana, I hope you can walk on water, bitch, because you got to get the fuck up out of here. I mean, we've really had some classic moments. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I want to say shout out to you guys and thank you. And here's the thing. This week, I know we come for the giggles and the kicks, but we got to get serious because there's no more testimony anymore. There's no more fireworks, guys. Honestly, today was one of the most boring days of the cases. Now, you will hear a lot of people, and I'm not talking about anybody specific because I'm talking about the news, whatever. People be lying. I'm just telling you that. People be lying. You know, I do my entertainment spin, but people be lying. You know, somebody texted me today and was like, and I was in the overflow. So somebody texted me today and was like, was Diddy shaking his head up and down to the freak off music? Like he was bobbing to the music? I don't know who said that. I don't know where that came from, but apparently that's being said. And I was asking around for people. They was like, that never happened. They were also saying that people were saying that Diddy was talking to them. I've never seen any of that stuff. And I think that he would get in trouble for doing that. So I don't know, but people just be saying stuff, y'all. And so I do think that as the week goes on, and it's because it's going to become more and more uninteresting and less interesting, people are going to be just throwing shit out there. You know what I mean? Diddy farted and threw it at me. You know what I mean? Diddy told me if he gets off, he's going to kill me. You know, people be saying shit. The juror laughed and ran off a stage and had a heart attack. Meanwhile, the jurors ain't doing nothing. So, they said that was Tisa who said that. Well, I don't know. I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't hear that she said it, but shout out to her. She's doing her thing covering the case. We like her. So no tea. Shout out to her. She's doing her thing. She's killing it. She's everywhere. So shout out to Tisa Tales on that. But I didn't see now, girl. I didn't see. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what the tea was, but if she told y'all that, then she told y'all that, y'all. I'm gonna stay in my lane. So anyway, but shout out to Tisa Tales. She's doing her thing. Love you, Bill. All right, so let's get into it. So okay. So they did the summary today. Not too much going on. They went through a bunch of text messages that we already know. From Jane Doe saying she didn't want to be a bag. She's not into porn. She's not a P star. It's been 3 years. She's been strangers. We went through all of this stuff already. What they were doing today is pretty much doing the last final summary, going over the freak off videos, going over text messages that we've covered already in here. More talk, more me talk, more I'm horny, all of that. So I'm over that. We know everybody was horny. We know everybody better be hard. We know that there was ketamine and cocaine. Okay. But now reports are saying the defense is saying, hey, we're not even bringing any witnesses to the stand. And they are expected to start their case tomorrow. The prosecution has pretty much rested. They might have to do a redirect because the defense right now is doing a cross-examination of the last witness, which is the summary witness. So it's a snooze fest. Everyone's bored. Snow fireworks. People are going to sleep. People are coming less and less. You know what I'm saying? People are not really in it as much because it's all a bunch of stuff that we already know. So now the defense is doing their cross-examination. Boring. All right. The prosecution took 2 days to do theirs. Then they will start their case. But they're planning on shooting for the Rule 29 filing, which is an acquittal. Now they do that. Now this is standard. Now the Rule 29 is basically saying that, hey, judge, before the jury deliberates, we want to quit this case because we don't feel like the prosecution has detailed and laid out their story. They don't have enough substantial evidence to charge this man with these criminal crimes. Everyone does this. So 9 times out of 10, this probably and most likely will be thrown out. But why not exercise your right to the filing? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and hey, the judge could actually go with it. But something tells me this judge is not going to be the one to want to say, hey, I made the decision to free Diddy. No matter what their attempts are for a mistrial, an acquittal, none of these things. I don't think that this judge is going for that. He'd rather let the people of the jury decide, because in 2, I also think the judge is feeling like, well, I've wasted these people's time. I feel like the judge really cares about his jury. So having these people come every day, sit there and do that, and then for him to just take the power and say, you know what, I'll make the decision. The judge is pretty fair. I don't think that he's going to do that. So I think that he will leave it in the hands of the jury. All right. So the plan of action is by tomorrow, we should start the defense. By Wednesday, they plan on charging the jury. This is when it gets really important. So it's probably not going to be a lot to talk about because they're planning on giving the jury a long extended break, and then they go fight over wording. So I didn't know what charging of the jury meant, but I looked it up. And so apparently charging of the jury pretty much goes into the filing. So when the jurors have to go and, select guilty or not guilty, it's the wording based upon the charges that the jurors have to adhere by when looking for the conviction, when deciding guilty or not guilty. So in essence, the defense and the prosecution argue over certain verbiage that goes into the description of each individual charge that will then be labeled by a box that says guilty or not guilty. And the juror will select which one per charge. But what's important is the way that that charge is depicted and how it is described. And so they will have to argue back and forth at what language is used in that description that will then be presented to the jury so that the jury will then choose guilty or not guilty. And once that language or description is created, okay, here's RICO, here's the description. Here's sex trafficking, here's the description. Here's the prostitution, here's the description. Once they figure that out, the jury is going to get very detailed and strict instructions to go by and adhere to the description that is listed above or below that charge. And so they have to follow those guidelines and decide whether or not they feel that Diddy either was guilty of this crime or not, based upon the detailed description of what the charge is. And so now we're at a pivotal point because the prosecution is going to want to detail it or have it very, the description kind of like casting a wide net. So they would say things like, I don't know, was there an intent or was he knowingly, trying to get people for sex trafficking? Like, could you tell that there was an intent or luring someone into, sex trafficking, where the defense would say, did he, coerce or force Jane Doe or these people into having sex? Those little words matter because those mean 2 different things. So for the defense, the more narrow and the more direct that you make the wording, the harder it is to fit into those guidelines. So you'll be like, well, I don't really feel like I seen coercion and I don't feel like he forced her. So the prosecution wouldn't want that kind of verbiage in there. They would want something like, did he knowingly and intentionally trick or, persuade or have these women thinking one thing and it be another in order to get freak offs and things like that. And then the defense will be like, no, that's too broad. Because then on one hand, you could think, ooh, well, he kind of did. His intention was to do freak offs. Maybe theirs wasn't. So it's going to be a word game. It's going to be a word game. So I looked it up. So let me get a better example. Cause hold on, let me do this for y'all. Hold on. Let me get the examples for you guys. This probably won't be a long live, I know, because it's not really much to get into. Oh, my thing just keeps cutting out. All right, so it's not working right now. I don't know what this is about. But yeah, guys, so that's where we are now. So that's going to happen Wednesday. And then I'm assuming the jury will get instructions Thursday. No, and there'll be closing arguments Thursday. Closing arguments will be Thursday. And it's going to be 4 hours apiece. And then deliberations start on Friday. So I don't know if they're going to come back with a verdict Friday or they'll come back with a verdict Monday. But, and they're planning for Thursday and Friday to have long days in case it takes the jury longer. So we might be there all day Thursday and Friday. I'm hoping the jury can really come with it and make a decision by Friday, because then that frees me up for my weekend. So I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know how this is going to go. This can go either way, because here's the thing. Do I feel like they do have the RICO? Do I feel like they have the trafficking? Do I feel like they have the prostitution? I feel like the prostitution is clear. I feel like the trafficking is clear. I feel like the RICO makes sense. I think the problem is, and listen, I'm not just the most legal person and I'm no lawyer, but I just feel like the RICO, people are not understanding the RICO because it's not bam, bam, shot you dead, drug lord kind of thing enterprise. It's more of a freaky, baby oiled, astroglided, choke slamming, drop kicked, under red lights and cocaine type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people are not really seeing the RICO because it's so lathered up in baby oil. It's a lot of baby oil talk and a lot of horny. But people are missing all the players of the flights and the escorts and the man and the woman that works the site. And the assistants setting up the room, and the assistants going to buy more oil, and this one putting the room under this one's name, under Frank Black, and then going to go get the drugs in a different prescripted name, prescribed name. All of these are crimes. But then on one hand, you're thinking to yourself, well, for me, I would have thought, well, damn, I mean, I get it to a certain degree, but I didn't really know that this was considered a crime, let alone a RICO, because to me, on one hand, it feels like this is just a guy with money and power, and, he has employees working for him, and this is what he likes to do, and so perhaps he's just got his assistants, they do other things, amongst other things, like handling like other business affairs. These assistants also handle the freak-offs. I didn't know that this was a criminal enterprise because it doesn't feel like this is all he does. When you think RICO, you're thinking this is this person's sole purpose in their job and they're getting this money or they're just doing all these crimes. But I guess these are sex crimes. But if I'm being honest with you, I feel like 95% of people with money can be hit with a RICO. If that's the case, all these niggas is doing this. Diddy is just the one that got caught. And furthermore, a lot of these women wannabe flued out. So I didn't know that this was as big of a crime or as heavy as a crime than it actually really is. So I feel like everybody is a little bit guilty of this. If you got the money, who wouldn't fly a big booty child and lather them in baby oil and get high on the weekend? I guess I wouldn't, not if I wanted to stay out of court. So, I don't know. It's very, very interesting. So there's that part. And then I also think, let's just be honest. Can we talk? This trial, it was okay, but I think a lot of people are losing interest. And I think a lot of people are losing interest because you know what we wanted to see. This is not what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Jaguar Wright in an upside down headstand with Jay-Z finger popping her, with Sherry Shepherd and Lauryn Hill and Meek Mill on his back. Diddy with a gag ball in his mouth. And Jay-Z whipping Jaguar Wright while Mary J. Blige was having her titties in her face. And Justin Bieber somewhere 12 years old licking on a lollipop, and a memoir from Kim Porter saying he killed me. And somehow we tangled that into Tupac and Biggie. That's what we wanted. And we wanted it all on tape. Let's be real here. We didn't get that. That's what we wanted to see. And so since that didn't happen, nobody gives a damn anymore. Now it's just about they all crazy and they all whores and they was all going and Diddy's a freak. Let's be real here. Can we talk? Because that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted Jay-Z in a crop top and some Diddy dukes incriminating himself next to Usher. We wanted to see a herpes test. That's what we wanted. That's exactly that's what you wanted. And we wanted somehow for Beyonce to be devastated and subpoenaed in the court. That didn't happen. That wasn't this case. And so you guys are over it. And you don't give a damn about Cassie or Jane Doe. Nobody cares. We wanted Meek Mill to be gangbanged on an island. That's what y'all wanted to see. That's what y'all wanted. And somewhere Jaguar Wright was saying, I told you so. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. You want a Jaguar Wright in the back. Ooh, oh, ah, ooh, ah. That's what you wanted. Let's be honest. But it's okay. We didn't get that this time. And so everybody is like, and the people who really want him found guilty, those are the people that want him charged for everything. Somehow we needed J-Lo to come speak out. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't happen. So here we are with Diddy's private sexcapades, and we're to do with them and say, all right, this was a criminal enterprise. I personally feel like Jane Doe was probably the worst witness. She could have single-handedly ruined this case because it seemed like she started feeling some type of way after she read Cassie's lawsuit. And Jane Doe was with it until she found out that everybody else was getting the perks. But there was something interesting that did pop out that I didn't hear before. Well, apparently Diddy told KK, because see, he was setting up a freak off night with Jane Doe and I think was Paul. So Diddy told told KK to text Young Miami. Well, they call her Young. Text Young and tell her that I had a family emergency. I'm sick and I have to fly out of town because I was supposed to take her to dinner tonight, but I got to take her to dinner tomorrow. It's going to be a long night. So just go ahead and tell her that I'm not going to make her. Tell her something came up. But really, that's because he was going to make sure that Dick stayed hard with Paul and he was going to do a freak off with Jane Doe. So then KK text back and said, I don't think you should just lie. Just say something came up. And so they went with that plan. So he wasn't doing the freak offs with Young Miami. But what I'm hearing from Jane Doe, she would be upset. And I don't even know if Gina was doing the freak offs. What happened was Jane Doe would do the freak offs. Diddy would record the freak offs. Then Diddy, Young Miami, or Diddy and Gina would go off the grid, and then they would do whatever they're doing. I don't know if Young Miami was getting high, but I'm damn sure Diddy was getting high. So they would get high, go off the grid, and watch the freaky videos. But then Diddy would pull up the freaky video from Gina, and then they would have like a sexy sex video sex to Jane Doe and Paul. So Diddy would use Jane Doe as his in-person corn star, film it, then take it off the grid, get high as shit, and then jack and play little freaky games with Young Miami and Gina as they watch the video that Jane Doe made the night before. And so that's why she would be upset, because Jane Doe said, stop having me suck for you to go and watch him with Young Miami and Gina. But that has to be some crazy shit too, because it's like, all right, so you went and had her in this, and me and you gonna watch it? I don't know. That's a lot. And so that's what would be going on. She said, you want me to suck some so you can jack off once with Young on an island with Gina or Young Miami. You want me to suck some so you can jack on an island with Young Miami or Gina. Oh, you know what I got to do, though? I need to do this. Did my phone die? I need to find this man. Hold on. My phone is dead. Why would it do that? They did pull up this new escort that we hadn't seen. His name is Mason. From Vegas. He's about $1,400 for a minimum of 2 hours. I want to see if I can find him so y'all can see what he looked like. Hold on. Is he gonna pull up? Oh my God, I gotta see if I can find this guy. Come on. Where is the Mason guy? Oh, we're gonna have to wait for the exhibits to come out, because I would have to find him on, and I don't even know what site you would have to go look at. But his name is Mason. He's from Vegas, but he lives in Vegas or LA. He's bi-coastal. We got to find him. When I find him, I'm going to post him, and we'll probably talk about it tomorrow. So yes. Oh, and then there was reports from when they were in the hotel room. There was yelling and screaming, right? And this goes into the RICO too, in my opinion. So there's yelling and screaming, and then guess what the assistant said? Don't worry about it. That's just Jane Doe yelling and screaming out of jealousy because, Diddy's still dealing with other women. And so they just let it happen. They didn't care. So today we learned that all the assistants, everybody was in on the deal. They would set the room up. They would buy baby oil. They would go and get the cash back. They would go get the $5,000 to $10,000 of cash. Okay. Who is this? Is this Flash? Somebody said, Johnny after your boy. Who is Johnny? Who is Johnny? Now I know this is Flash. Now, Flash, you better not come in here because you know they're going to swear I want you. You see that? Now, what if Flash, if you on here, you can come in and what can you tell us about Mason? Because Mason might got you beat. Mason is fine. It's no shade. We got to find Mason. Mason, call me. We need to have you up here, Mason, because you snuck through the front door today. Then they exposed Jane Doe through an interesting turn of events. They exposed her through her emojis. I'll give you more if you can make me squirt with the squirting emojis. I'm so excited with the hard eyes and the kissy face. And then one of the escorts wrote, I know that putty still throbbing over me. And she, ooh, with the drooling emojis. And so Jane Doe was a hoe. Amen. And so she was definitely in on it. So, I don't know. Oh, Johnny Gill. Oh, so there are reports that Johnny Gill was upset. Now, listen, Johnny, we didn't say that. But apparently Johnny Gill is seeking legal against our interviewee, Flash. So, you know what? I'm going to actually drop the link because there really wasn't much to get into. So we'll have a couple minutes for you guys to give your thoughts on it. And Flash, if you want to come up here, you can definitely come up here. Here is the link. Anybody that wants to grab the link and jump in and get into some things, you can come up here. But Flash, if you do come up here, you're not going to be cursing like that. Okay. But yeah, so I'm definitely down to get you guys' thoughts. Do you guys think this is a RICO? Do you think that Diddy is going to walk? Do you think that he will be acquitted? What happens at the end of this week? Like I said, there's no more fireworks, guys. Now we get serious because somebody's life is about to change. And it's either going to change for the good or the bad. But here's the thing. If he gets off, I still think that people are going to rock with Diddy. Is his career going to be tainted a little bit? Yes. Will he stop doing freak offs? No. Will he get smart about it? Yeah. But he probably won't be able to get charged for the same thing again. Will he be even more of a raging narcissist? Absolutely. We all have to run for the hills. Absolutely. But here's the thing. I cannot see in a world where he gets off 100% scot-free. So, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we'll take a couple people in here and we'll see. All right. What's going on, Tammy? Talk to me.
Hey Armand, how are you?
How are you?
Good. I'm thinking that with this whole Diddy trial, I think it just might be split across the board because from what I'm hearing and what you're saying, I feel like it would be hard for me honestly to make a decision because everything is not always so clear to me. So
Okay.
because like you said, it's hard, it's going to everybody has to be on the same page. But I also think some stuff he might be found not guilty for, and maybe some of the charges that he might be found guilty for. So I don't think if he does be found guilty, I don't think it's going to be clear straight across.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's take him. Okay, Bentley, what's going on?
Armand, I just want to give you your shout outs and I have to give you and just tell you happy belated
Thank you.
birthday. I am so proud of you. I really am. The fact that you even got to go on the radio station. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. I
So proud of you.
appreciate you for that.
I really, really, really like tried to make the time out to get down there to Soho. I do want to see you because I just feel like
You
at the
want
end
to
of the
see
day,
me? I don't know you,
yes,
Bentley. Why are
I
you
do
hiding?
want
What do you
to
look like? Turn your camera on. Turn your
oh my
camera on.
God,
Turn your
I look
camera
a
on.
mess right now. I'm gonna turn it on for you though. Definitely. Definitely got to
Oh,
give it
hi,
to you.
Bentley.
What's
I never
going
met you before, though.
on? Yes, we need to meet in person. I'm going to turn the camera off, but I'm going to continue speaking.
Okay.
But on the behalf of all this, like, it's really, really crazy. My godmother, she used to be assistant manager for actually Lauren Hills.
Okay.
So I speak to her a lot about this. And it's just crazy. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, he's definitely going to be held accountable of all these things he didn't did. But it's going to be really hard to charge him because at the end of the day, they was willing to participate on this. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's crazy. Like, I was a big fan of Cassie. We all wanted to see, you know, her on tour. We wanted her albums. Like, it's painful at the end of the day. It's very, very painful to see this, but he will be held accountable for this. And you know, I just want you to keep going, man. I want you to keep going, bro, and just keep going. Like, I'm a big supporter of you. And the fact that I got in tonight to actually give you your round of applause and like, my God.
Oh, are
I
you
love
slapping
you.
your cheeks? Bye,
No,
Bentley. Thank
I'm
you.
slapping my hand. I love
Bye.
you, my God.
Bye, bye. Thank you. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys. So listen here. A lot of people are feeling like they're torn. So I guess my question is, if Diddy walks free, do we all go and just start streaming the Love album? Are we going on a Diddy tour? Like, what happens after that? Hey.
Oh, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I needed.
Yes. What's going on? Talk to me.
Okay, so I've been watching you from, I've been watching you well before the Megan Thee Stallion trial, but I watched your coverage too. So leading on to this, love to see it, love to see it. Here's the thing with Diddy. I agree with you that we were all waiting for the Jaguar Wright explosive to happen. And because I think part of it is like this man has been a reigning terror in people's lives for so long that we are ready for him to see his just due. So a lot of people are saying, oh, life is too long. Like maybe he did commit some of these crimes, but the punishment's way more severe. You gotta let karma take its course, man. Though he may not be on trial for all of the other things that we know this man did, allegedly, wink, wink. But he's about due for that time, you know? And maybe for me, one of the frustrations that comes, especially from our community specifically, is the fact that we sympathize with abusers way too much. We're so ready to just discard the victims of these people. And for me, that is really, really telling, you know?
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong, you have some girlies like Jane Doe who are messing up the cha-cha. They are messing up the cha-cha. But even I know women like Jane Doe, and she ain't all the way right. You can be a victim and not have good enough sense to recognize your position in a situation. Now, here's one thing I did want to kind of clarify with Jane Doe, though, because you guys are saying, like, the people are saying that, oh, it's because the other girls were getting more from Diddy and she wasn't. I think what it is, look, I'm the oldest of my generation, right? And I'm the one who had to do all of the grunt work and share all of the benefits with my younger siblings and younger cousins and this, that, and the third. I got to take all the heat so that they could go, you know, flash around, do. And so I think it's probably more so like, how you got me over here burnt out like this, that, and the third. And I got to do all this, that, and the third. But you got 1 and 2 over there.
But I think, but the problem, and I understand that, but you were with it. But so don't make it seem like now that that's the case, you don't want to freak off because you were just so horny before you knew that he was in Turks and Caicos with Young Miami.
Well,
You were
that's the thing.
horny and you were squirting and you were everything. You were with it, baby.
But I think maybe on paper, but just like what you were saying before, like if your rent and stuff is being threatened in a position and you got a kid and you're trying to survive and stuff, you're going to say what you need to say to secure your
Mm.
position, especially if you think that's what it takes to secure your position. You know, I've been in vulnerable situations with my daughter before, and I know those, and I've been around women who've made even tougher decisions than I have. So I know a woman trying to survive. She's like, you know, I stopped talking to Diddy. He don't want to pay my rent. You know,
Mm.
I'll be left with the bill that I can't afford. I still got to make sure that my child has. You know, there are certain things. Come on now, come on now. We know, and there are many girls with less to lose that are just ditzy and have been trained and conditioned by society for generations that no matter what the quality of the man is, it's all about the man. So, you know, as long as he's happy, do what you can to keep him happy because he's the one keeping you alive. He's how you're surviving or sustaining yourself. So I don't, we've all sent text messages with all kinds of
Wrap
emojis
it
and
up,
we've been
wrap it
sitting
up.
there.
Okay, come on. Land
So
the
okay,
plane.
stone face, straight face. You don't mean that stuff. It's a text. You can read it whatever voice you want to read it in. My face will be like this, but you'll be
All right,
all
thank you, boo. Out of boo. Okay, thank you. Let's keep going. Next. Come on, Ariel. We got a lot of people. Uh-huh.
Okay, hey Armand, I love you. Keep doing your thing. You are so good at this, and
Thank
you
you.
should do a PO box so us fans can send you stuff. We want to
Yeah,
send you
yeah.
stuff.
You know
I do
what? I just be so
clothes.
lazy with that stuff, but I will.
Please make one because I do clothes, and you got some stuff coming your way. You got a lot of blessings. Nancy Grace and TMZ is just the start. I want to send you some suits, some nice suits, so you can look.
Okay, okay. Now get to the
Okay,
content.
now listen. The Rico is definitely clear. The chat ate me up the last time I was on the live. They ate me up. They called me all types of stupid and all types of stuff
Okay.
because I said as a juror, there is evidence, but I couldn't find Diddy guilty on the sex trafficking. And people were saying, well, that's against the law. No, it's not, because look, the prosecution, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So the defense, they don't have to do some grand scheme. As long as you think that Diddy is 99% guilty, that other 1%, the defense did their job. So at the end of the day, them poking holes, yes, evidence can be there. It has to be there in order for them to get jurisdiction from a judge to create a trial. However, it's up to the jurors to say, okay, I see evidence, but it doesn't seem strong. It doesn't seem like he really did this crime. So at the end of the day, it's all going to fall on the jurors. It's all going to fall on them and what they think and how they feel, if the girls were forced or they were with it, or, you know, think about this, a job. If a job tells you, hey, you'll get fired if you work at McDonald's for eating, but you have a cool manager and they say, you know what, you could get some fries, you could get some chicken nuggets. Guess what happened when that CEO walked through? They gonna act like they never told you that, and they're gonna fire you because that's against the policy. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like a tricky line when you work with people and you're dealing with people at the same time and you're cool and you letting stuff go, because at the bottom line, the law is the law. You get what I'm saying? So it's all going to fall on the jurors. It's all going to fall on them.
Dennis Berwin, you're in the courtroom. You're at the courthouse. You've been covering the case the entire time. What do you think about this?
Well, I'm not surprised the defense didn't put on a case because they don't have the burden of proof. The government does, like Ariel said. Um, I thought maybe they would have a witness to challenge the expert witness at most, but as far as the other witnesses, I didn't see a need to do that. I think the defense did a great job at showing a alternate reality to some of the witnesses that testified. For them to be able to wrap this case up in this short form, a lot of people are like, "Hey, why is this thing? He has to fight." Well, no, he doesn't have to, because the government has a burden of proof. A lot of stuff that they had put out there to the public, it didn't materialize. But I want to say something else, and this is very important. As a journalist for many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
you did your thing this year, and if you don't get a BET Awards for this coverage and your
Thank you.
reenactments, my brother, listen. You've been cheated. I'm gonna tell you that
Thank
right
you.
now. No one's running. You've ran a circle around everyone's out here. I don't have a problem saying it. The reenactments, I just start checking them out. I'm like, this guy's a genius.
Thank you.
Well, do
I
me a favor.
appreciate you.
More oil. More oil. No, I'm
So
just
I'm going to
kidding.
keep you on here just really quick so you think that Diddy should walk, is what you're saying? Because me and you talked about
I
this, so I don't want to
I
know.
I I think that he was overcharged. I think that his sex life is on trial. I think that the government has done a great job in and smearing his name. Not to say his name's not smeared already, but if you look at the videos that just was shown today, is that really necessary? This thing, is it
Yeah.
really necessary?
Did we need to see the freak off videos again?
No, we didn't.
Do you think that the RICO is, because I believe that the RICO is there, but do you think that it's muddled and smothered under the baby oil? Is it because it's not about, you know, guns and killings and things like that, and it's more about sex? That it's hard to see it?
Just think about how this case started. You saw Damian Williams hold a press conference showing guns and talked about baby oil, and it gave the indication that maybe there was drugs in the baby oil. Well, Cassie came out and said, "Hey, there's no drugs in the baby oil. The guns was in the security room. The law enforcement staged the guns for the photo op. So it's not what it was giving in the beginning. Everyone thought that they have him dead to right. I don't think this is a great RICO case. Like some, you know, R. Kelly's case was a little more convincing. I say a little more because even then I saw some games being played, but it is what it is. In this case, I don't think they're going to get a conviction on RICO. They may get him on prostitution, but a RICO, and definitely not with Jane Doe. I don't think Jane Doe helped the case much, and Cassie's a little skeptical. I don't know how they're going to view that. We played audio the other day of Cassie threatening to beat up a kill a friend twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think this government has made this. As a matter of fact, I think he's gonna get pardoned if he gets convicted.
All right, well, you got Sergeant Falcon and King Tech Enoch, TJ Enoch. I don't know. Okay, so what y'all think?
Well, first, Armand, I want to say I'm proud of you. I've been following you way back since the boys at the racetrack jumped on the lady at the gas station. So I just want to say, like, I'm proud of you, and you deserve your flowers. But as far as I think about the case, people, I mean, this is what everybody do. This is day. It's part. I mean, people do this all the time. The only thing I felt disrespected was, you know, the workers getting paid low. Now, I mean, $65,000 to deal with all that a year ain't worth it. But, low pay. But I feel he should go free.
He should go free. Okay. So wait. So you don't think that, you know, beating the Cassie and kind of making her feel like she had to do the freak off, dragging her in the room because she didn't want to freak off with the escorts, you know, that's not coercion, or holding the rent over Jane Doe's head when she didn't want to do the freak offs anymore?
It gets muddy because it's, you know, from the way you were telling us, it's like they already were with it. So it's like, were you with her? You wasn't with it, either or.
I think they were both with it when they thought that it was about, you know, it was going to be, you know, here and there. But I think they gagged when they realized that they had opened Pandora's box, and that became their life. And so, you know, Cassie wanted to do music, but that dream was over once he found out that she would do a freak off. There is no music career.
Jane Doe wanted one album.
Yeah, Jane Doe wanted to be, you know, a model, Instagram bat. I don't know what she wanted to be, but she wasn't the girlfriend or the wife. She became a porn star. And so I think that they were doing it for a little bit, but then he realized, oh, I got one, and he lost the respect for them and what they really wanted. So, I mean, they kind of played themselves a little bit, and they didn't know that they were dealing with an addict.
But see, I understand Cassie's position because she was younger, but Jane Doe was a little bit older, and you know, people need to start making themselves an option. I mean, making people a priority when they're going keep me made as an option. You know, I don't know why
they were getting paid. They were getting that money, and they liked what they were doing. So, I mean, to me, I think the RICO's clear. I mean, hey, he's dead to rights, and I just want to give you your flowers too, brother. I got a hold to you through my wife. She watches you all the time, so I just want to give you your flowers for that. But
Dennis is looking at you like he don't agree. We argue this all the time.
I think it's clear. They got him dead to rights. Put the nail in the coffin to me. But I mean, to other people, I think like you said earlier with when you was on the show with Queen Sheba, it's emotions. People do act on emotions. So if they feel like, oh, I don't think she knew or whatever, but to me, hey, she knew, like you just said, she knew at first,
But then once they found out this is a regular thing, hold up, I ain't trying to do this no more. So that's when it went. That's when it went left and never came back right.
But let me ask you guys both this while I have you here. As men, right? And you guys are both heterosexual men, but I don't even think that it matters because gay, straight, whatever. As men, part of our alphaness, is to like we become successful in the courting process. We want to flex our muscle. We want to flex our pockets. We want to flex our wallet, and the women or even the other men, they like that. So to fly somebody out, to take them on a trip, to engage in sexual activity, that is a crime?
I mean, a lot of us would be in jail right now.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of us would be in jail right now. That trip you took to the Bahamas or the trip you took to Europe, and you told them to meet you out there. Come on. They're criminalizing something that people have been doing from the end of time. Come on now. Let's be honest. Puff had his lifestyle. Jane Doe said this is a lifestyle.
Okay,
and
he don't have no good service. We got to have somebody else. Go ahead, Dennis.
I mean, Jane Doe admittedly said on the stand that this was a lifestyle. She even hooked up with the entertainer. And Puffy wasn't even around. She was. We don't know who the other person was in the room, but we know that a high-profile celebrity and his girlfriend and or wife was enjoying the lifestyle as well. So, did she turn it off for? It wasn't cool with her and Puffy, but it was cool with her with other people. Even Cassie reached out to your guest, Mr. Nash, and said she was reaching out to him. Puffy didn't know about this. So if she didn't enjoy it, why was she doing it then?
Exactly.
Okay, Nikki. So as a woman, what is your take on this situation?
Armand, I too got to give you your flowers. You are the bomb.com.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Byron as well. But let me say this. Let me just flip the script for a moment. As a survivor, myself, one of the greatest pleasures I had was walking those detectives through everything I went through. When I walked to those police stations and I saw the work that was given, I'm trying to understand how do we, not taking away what they went through, but how do we stop skipping the actual investigations and then following suit per the law and then getting even with the domestic violence, when do we stop all that? And now we're going to civil, and now we got a RICO. But what about those of us that had to endure and had to make sure that we showed up to everything that they defense said, showing what we had, making sure our investigators was there. It wasn't just because they're investigating my crime that was against me of my abuse. I had one that got off and one that did a 5 and 10. So you can't take away, we say we're for the victims, but we all say it's okay, you just go straight to the bank or to the attorney or to a civil suit. No, we have a moral obligation to really protect those who have truly been, not saying she has not been, but there's a process. There's something that we have to adhere. So it's hard for me to even relate as a victim myself. It's hard because I'm saying
do you feel that you're a little bit bitter?
I think as far as my bitterness was, and I thank God for healing me of that.
Okay.
My bitterness comes from, I've been a part of Emory Law. So I'm a paralegal by trade, okay?
Okay.
So I've seen where I have men that have gone innocent who went to prison. I've seen where women who were abused and did not get any type of retribution. My bitterness is when we fake the funk and we let the law, because we can get in it and get out, or we'll apply this part but not that part. It's like there's the movement, whatever feels good, whatever emotion people have, but we don't stick to what the law says. We don't make the laws. We didn't make it, but we need to adhere to it to where we're saying, hey, if he's guilty, he should have went through the process. If they're victims, baby, you got to go through the process. So that's how I feel as a survivor. And again, one of the greatest things is when you go and you can see the investigations from the beginning, when that detective still first show up to your house, or you go and you get a sample kit, or you get something done. I've never been a part of where I can just go straight and say, this is what I want. So that's my take on it. And again, God bless you, and I
Thank you so
appreciate you.
much, Boo. All right, so we got Amina Seen It and Markaba. Hey, who wants to take it first? What do you guys think?
Congratulations.
Oh, period. Start your manifestation. Period. We love a good manifester.
You've inspired me, so I had to go get the book. I was like, oh, Armand did something right. Let me go do it.
Period.
All right. So I wrote it down so I could be quick in and out.
Okay.
First of all, I think the case was half baked because I think the feds is protecting a lot of people that shouldn't have been protected. Like, where was you calling these people at? The services, all these mails coming in. You know that was a service. It was a real service. Half of these people that, had these little agencies going on. Then you could prove a RICO. It's easy. You could, if you get enough witnesses and stuff like that, you can construe what you want them to say in court. Just like you see the way the lawyers were trying to paint a different story. They're just painting the best story. It would have been a harder case had that tape not come out for the feds.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree.
Now we're like, he's a monster. You understand? And then also, I think that they went through that house and took the tapes that they wanted out before they started this mess.
Okay.
And then, but they didn't want to get too deep. Yeah, they don't want to get too deep. I'm gonna need y'all should have had done this mess to Hugh Hefner if that was the case, because this case was just, they're covering too much. They're covering names, they're covering people. It's very weird.
So it sounds like you wanted a little bit more of everybody exposed, not
if
just
you want to take them down, take everybody. I think they handpicked what they wanted.
Well, and to your point, I think was so interesting that they were letting everybody else's names be put out there. However, we didn't know the name of the guy, the rapper, and the girlfriends where Jane Doe just popped up in Vegas and ended up at a freak off where she just, in the moment, flashed her titties. Who was this rapper?
Why do you think, Amon, why do you think they did that?
Girlfriend.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know why I think they did that. Why did they do that, Dennis?
Well, one of two things. Are they looking to indict that person? Are they protecting that person? Or are they looking to indict that person for similar behavior? Because otherwise, I mean, you went to a party, you testified that it was irrelevant if you're not going to tell everybody's name. It's irrelevant. You said Ant was there. It wasn't Ant. It was Ant, right?
Anton.
Anton. Was Anton there? It was her. It was a high-profile rapper. What are you protecting a rapper for?
Why?
It makes the public think that you guys have other people that you're protecting, like she said. So put everyone's name out there, and let the people decide whether or not her story is truthful.
And let me ask you guys this: what do we think? How did Capricorn get away from this trial? How does that happen?
Can I speak on that?
Not Capricorn, KK. How did she? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I speak on that? I wanted to say something about this so-called Mann Act. I've been keeping up with the case. You're doing a great job informing us and keeping us laughing about it, because it's actually really funny how all of a sudden baby oil and Astroglide becomes a weapon now. And so I just think that the way that the armed guards or the feds or whoever they were came in, it was like you would think that with all this migrant thing going on, that you're going to see a bunch of underage Mexicans being involved in this. And here you have just a few willing women who are now getting immunity. And I've always wondered, would they have been a part of the RICO? If this is the case, are they getting immunity? My concern is that this is a O.J. Simpson type of thing, because now since they couldn't catch him for the Tupac or the Biggie thing, now they're going for the baby oil and they're making this a weapon. So I'm like thinking, do we have new weapons now? Because if this case goes through, like, is it illegal to carry baby oil now? Because like in some states, there was this law going on that you couldn't be on certain blocks where prostitutes were, or whatever, well, where you can't even have a condom in your pocket. And so now I'm like thinking, now are we looking at new laws coming up now where now that this goes on, now you're looking at it's illegal to carry baby oil. It's like a lethal weapon now. Like,
I don't know. I think that's the part where the prosecution messed up, because a lot of people might be thinking like that. And I think that what they were supposed to do, they were supposed to show how he was using sex as a whole as a criminal weapon. to get to coerce these women to feed his fetishes and his fantasies by, and it was his money and power that was doing it and manipulating these women and forcing them into that. And in some instances with Cassie, he would beat her and be physical with her. And in the Jane Doe situation, he would use mind manipulation and, lying to her and make her feel like she's going to lose her stability. So he would use different tactics with different women.
Right.
Huh?
Right. And so will this be a new law now? You can't tell somebody, promise them a record deal without giving it to them. I mean, what do we have to look forward?
Amarn, you in the music business too. You know this happens all the time. So
and I'm about to say, you just better not get flown out.
Well, no,
You have to have your own money.
No, so what I'm saying is, though, I mean, this does affect women, right? Because I'm sure you guys would love to be flown out, but again, how can I trust a woman when all of a sudden, if she's mad at me because I got 2 or 3 other girls, or I didn't give her a Chanel bag, I got her Bottega Veneta, now all of a sudden she was going, but now that she found out I got someone else, now she's sitting on the stand on me. So now it's like you can't even trust these women, and every woman's going to jump on that plane. But until they're not getting what they want, then all of a sudden they're sitting on trial in a RICO case. Testifying against you.
That's the thing. People don't want, usually, okay, so I was essayed by a police officer. I won my case, right?
Okay.
But I only had 48 hours to complain about this. So apparently they passed a law. They knew what they were going to do with these black men in New York or with these Jewish men in New York, because they passed this law where you now have 30 years, but only for a couple of years. And I remember when this first started, Cassie actually filed her lawsuit right before that line was up. And so all of a sudden, that, like the woman before was saying, I think what she was actually trying to relate was that you have to go through the process. And there was no process. I had to do an APE kit. You know what I'm saying? I had to do all of this in order to get this conviction. My question is this. Do the jurors get to choose the charge according to the years in jail that he will get? Like, is there a charge that only goes up to 5 years? Is there a charge, or do they know?
Jurors cannot decide based on the potential time. First of all, they're not going to know. They're not going to go in the box knowing he's facing 20 years, he's facing life, because that's not even a consideration. But I'm sure, because I'm not sure. Judges told them they cannot watch media coverage. But if they're as curious as a lot of people in America, they might just maybe hit a little Google, hit a little. Watch a little Oman and maybe say, hey, this guy makes sense. This guy shouldn't be found guilty. Or they may see some of these text messages that I've been releasing and say, hey, Cassie was about that life. Jane was about that life.
That's the thing. There's a reasonable doubt. And I'm quite sure that every little thing, and a lot of these YouTubers are not really thinking about that. They're just thinking about the actual charge and like, oh, put him away. He had the baby oil, they brought in the guns, they founded the Astroglide. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a joke situation, but we all know it's not a joke, because now it's trickling down to other black men that have a certain amount of money. And we also know that he did decide not to go off the voting campaign that he was supposed to do. He decided not to do that at some point during that time. And he also decided to open a political company, a political organization prior to this. And he also decided to charge DeLeon, for
Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you do for a living?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I run a nonprofit organization now, and I sell clothing.
Okay, so boom, let's say you do clothing, right? And there's, I don't know, Anna Wintour, great, huge star, huge person in that business, and she wants you to do you want to dress someone for the Met Gala. You have your opportunity. However, you have to eat Anna Wintour's seat, and you don't want to do that, but you have that connect to her. What are you going to do? Like, we're not talking about an average person here. I think the other part about this is this was Sean Combs, somebody that was huge in the music industry, in the entertainment business. So a thing like blackballing is a thing. Capricorn Clark couldn't even work, still has not worked. Cassie's album never came out. So we're not talking about some Joe Schmo that just like, all right, if you don't want to do it, you can just get on. No, we're talking about a person that can make the call to these record labels, make the call to these fashion houses, make the call to the police, Make these calls and have things stop for you in your life. All right, if she's there, you're not getting any of my artists here. This guy is the same person that had Wendy Williams removed from New York radio and had her sent to Philadelphia because he threatened that if she was not removed from the radio station wouldn't have any more bad boy artists on air. So that kind of power, you know, when you're locked in and when you're in that person's orbit, you end up doing what you have to do because you feel like even though we're in this huge world, this guy is still larger than life and he controls me from any direction. Think about the amount of people that is now coming online with their Diddy stories. We got Young Bird, we got Ray, we got everybody with a Diddy story. But my whole thing is this: why did none of you niggas come out with your Diddy story when he wasn't locked up? Now that he's locked up, everybody's not afraid anymore. But these niggas was all afraid.
Yeah. Right.
They were all scared.
I agree, but you know what? For me personally, would not be invited to my party because I'm kind of giving it up. Like, you know, I want to have fun. I want to live my life, and so like, you know, I have a gag order. I don't know if the NDAs don't work. I don't understand how the NDAs didn't work. I don't understand that aspect, and I'm very curious about that because I use a gag order. So I don't. If I have to. But if you don't have people in your circle that you trust and you know you're not going to be good to these people and you know the kind of people that you're dealing with, you chose those people because they fit the mind frame of a person that can be manipulated. Like I always said, if this has to do with the Mann Act, then this is definitely why I'm paying attention, because it had to do with a black man transporting a white woman someplace else. And I don't agree with Nancy Grace when she went on her show, and I saw you look like, these women weren't really black. But my point was, I noticed that I was like, no, and she has no right to speak for black women. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
We like Nancy
I'm
Grace.
a little mulatto myself, so hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, my point was that is very interesting to me how they picked those women instead of Capricorn Clark to be the victim, and how they are calling them victims. They're not your normal everyday victim. You know what I mean? They participated as well. And so
But what I'm trying to say to you is if you have grown men in the industry afraid to speak out, you don't think a woman that's not even black, that's like young or whatever, and they don't really have as many resources that some of these men have, and they're literally sleeping with you and living with you. You have their socials, you have their whereabouts, you're paying their bills. If grown men are afraid, you don't think these women are afraid?
There should be a charge for that. And out of this, I would hope that a charge would come out for that. And somebody, hopefully maybe my nonprofit, you never know, would come out with an act or a bill that would protect women in the music business for those types of manipulation. You know, and it would be very hard to do. Just like Diddy was having problems.
No, it's not. You're watching it unfold right now. You're watching it being molded right now in this case. Because if he's convicted on these charges, it sets a precedent like nothing you've seen before. That's this billionaire, and he was a billionaire, that will get prosecuted for this under these circumstances. This will set a precedent, and there will probably be laws to shape this dynamic that's happening.
And I will say this: if this does happen, it's over for the side chicks and the Instagram girls, because ain't nobody gonna play with their money like this no more. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like it's a slippery slope, because on one end, I'm not playing with Diddy either, because I know first of all, and I'm not even in no freak off situation with anybody, but I know how these niggas try to play with me. Just in the media space, where they try to stop your bag, or if you don't do what they want you to do, they're making phone calls and doing weird so imagine if I was in bed with you and telling you no, or I didn't want to do the freak off, and you got power, and you got other people around that's not even going to stand up to you for a long time. And I love Joe Budden, so do not take this the wrong way. And Joe is my guy, and shout out to Uncle Joe. But for a while, even while this was happening, Joe didn't even really want to speak out because he had his revolt deal. Right. So what I'm saying is, nobody was messing with Diddy. So what I'm saying is, people weren't speaking out, even if they felt like something could be true or something happened. Because listen, it was money involved, it was business involved. He had power. You've got liquor, you've got television networks, you've got clothing brands, you've got the fashion industry, the music industry. Like, who's gonna go up against the machine and risk their livelihood or their lives? And you expect these other women to stand up and just walk away when they don't even have a fraction of that?
Are you going to do the closing arguments for the prosecution?
Like, let's be real here.
Listen, it's about, to me, the reasonable doubt and the acts and the bills that come after this, because something has to be done. We all saw Weinstein. I don't know how to say his name, but anyway,
Harvey
he
Weinstein
had a mistrial. After he tried a mistrial so many times, come to find out he didn't have the balls that the lady said he had. You know what I mean? So then once you figure that out, and then you figure out certain things, all of those things, I believe they're using him for that other large case, because they're trying to set a precedent. But think about this. Anybody else that comes behind this, that they use their power to say, oh, you're not getting a deal. I mean, listen, when Irv Gotti wanted to give me a deal, I told him, I said, I don't think the contract would fit on your dick. And by the time it got on there, it probably wouldn't be even readable. You know what I mean? So we couldn't put it there. You know what I mean? But there's nothing, my point is, there's nothing promised. There's nothing promised. And lying to somebody has never been a law in America. You know what I'm saying? You've always been able to string people on. This is part of the business. You've always been, if you didn't want to take your escort, I've even seen white men say on a couple of blogs, I don't remember which one, but he was pretty funny. He said, listen, now I can't take my wife to another country to F a mandingo. Like, now I can't now I can't travel with, but they don't understand these laws were not made for them. These laws were made for us. So I really think that it's about what comes after, and we should all be thinking about how we can word these types of bills and laws and acts so that everyone will be protected from liars, if so.
Thanks, Boo. I'm gonna
or
get
if
you out of
baby
here, but
oil
thank you so
make it a
much. Thank you
weapon.
so much. I left her on because she was good. She had a good perspective. All right, this is about to wrap us up. You know what? You in the dark now too, so you got to go too. You messing up
I
the
got to
quality
turn
of
the
the
lights
stream.
on. If you give me a second, I could turn the lights on.
Yeah, but we're out of time now. You know, we've been an hour. We got to keep it wrapped up. But so, give me your final thought. Are you at the courtroom tomorrow?
I am. I want to be there for the next couple of days.
Okay, so you'll have to come back, and we'll have to do this on the day of the verdict.
The day of the
see
verdict.
What happens.
Do you think we're going to get a verdict this week?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we get a verdict this week, and I'm hoping for fireworks.
You're hoping for?
I'm hoping for a storm.
Okay, I don't want to bet on the outcome of this, but I would just say that I don't think he's going to be found guilty on the most serious charges. I think that what the jury might do is find him guilty on something, just so the prosecutors won't feel like they wasted their time. You know, I've seen that happen too. But as far as a complete guilty on all counts, I don't see that happening.
Okay, let me get this guy in here because he over here causing all this havoc. Yeah, and let me see what he's talking about. Now, don't you get on here cursing. I like that card or that money's doing you good. I see you in the back.
Yeah.
So how you been? So how's things been since you came and joined us? And you and Johnny Gill, cool. What's the vibe? What's going on with you?
I don't know. He mad at me. He should be mad at Bobby though, because Bobby's the one that left.
So did you actually see that?
Yeah, I saw it, and that's why he said the nigga is broke. He won't stand on 10 toes. Nigga, I'll stand on 20 toes, nigga. I'm like, dude, listen, you did it. It's not like you can't go on Google and find 1,000 references to what I was saying. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even saying it to oust the nigga. I was just saying it to prove a point. This is highly weird. I've seen other things before, but the depths of depravity, they do go a long way. That's all I wanted to say, man. And thank you. I got a couple publishing companies hitting me up, we negotiating back and forth and
yeah, go ahead and slide me something when you get that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm put you in the credits, nigga.
Yo, you are so funny.
Now,
Listen,
Yo,
I'm not
I
gonna
met
do this
a
with you
I
today.
met a I met a lot of interesting people, man. I want to just
Uh,
say thank you,
so
man.
how's life been for you?
Man, life is great. Every day I wake up, man, I'm happy. A lot of people go to bed, they don't wake up.
Hmm.
They got plans.
And
I'm
so,
good.
have you heard anything from Diddy or any of the, federal agents or the defense? Like, was there any backlash from your story? Did you hear anything from Jules? Because then he was brought up a lot in court the next day.
Nah, Jules is a sucker. I ain't gonna hear from that nigga again. I'm not gonna hear from him again.
Okay.
Um,
Have
yeah,
you
because
got any more clients? Have people try to hit you up? I know you don't do that
oh yeah,
anymore, but
oh yeah. I mean, I've gotten a lot of requests. I
mm,
mean, but I'm
really?
like, all right, yeah, put deposit down. We'll see. I come out of retirement
How
if
much are
the
you
price
going for
right.
these days? Not for me. I'm just asking as a
Oh,
number.
for a show now,
I
it
mean,
used
I
to
mean,
be.
for a Diddy set.
Nah, man,
For
I
it
can't.
better be hard.
I'm retired from that.
Okay. I mean, if you, but how much does it
Yeah.
cost to bring you out of retirement?
Oh, I might for a show fee. I might do anywhere if it's local, 5 to 700. And guarantee
Okay,
five.
so let me ask you
to-
this
to-
serious question. We're all discussing, is this a RICO? Like, let's take you out of it. But since you've been in it, I think that you can actually give a really fair answer. Is this a crime? Does he go to jail for life for this?
I mean, you got to ask yourself this. This is America. Okay, let's not be foolish. If anyone has ever read any history, you know that it doesn't matter if you commit a crime or if you don't. If we want you out of here, we want you up out of here. And I think it does go deeper than the freak offs of the baby oil. I think it's nigga, you stepped out of place. Michael Jackson tried to buy the
Mm.
Beatles catalog. Is this certain things that the pilgrims don't like?
So
And
you
when they
think
put
this
you in
is like a
position.
big conspiracy and it's a big old like thing where it's like he pissed off the days.
Yeah, and then you got your Negro card pulled, and you forgot that you was black. It really,
Uh,
it could easily be taken away from you. A lot of people forget. Oh, okay. Um,
well,
I've had my Negro card pulled, so you forget sometimes
okay, so the
until they
card is
bring you back to
pulled. So
earth.
I need you to give me a straight answer. So do you think he's going to be found guilty or not guilty?
Oh yeah, that nigga going to jail. If he don't go to
Oh,
jail, I think 100%. And if he ain't, I'm moving to my Wyoming. I'm just kidding. But I really do think that he's going a minimum 15 in the Fed. Because
okay. So let me ask you this: as a dancer and as an ex-worker, because I mean, I think that this, and as a man too, right? So like we were just talking, but it's like, so wait, this is a crime to fly people out. Yeah, maybe I have a drug addiction and a sex addiction, but it's like at the very minimum of it, it's just I was a gigolo. I was flying girls out. I was doing what that we was having
oh,
sex, and so this is a crime. Like, I mean, you've been flown. You've been flown out. I mean, I'm assuming, and you've probably
it,
want to
it's
fly women
it.
out. Is that wrong?
First of all, nigga, flying nobody nowhere
Oh, okay.
at
I'm just
all.
asking.
Hey, not right now, at least. But
But would you ever fly somebody out?
I
Like,
mean, if I had ducats like that to do it right, yeah.
but
But
then you could go to you could be sitting in federal court if you was
yeah, you could.
popular
I
enough.
mean, you could mail something from California to Arizona, and that's a federal crime. If I go open somebody mail, that's a federal crime. So I
Mm.
mean, he committed a crime. It might be the oldest crime in the world, prostitution or whatever you want to call it. But he definitely going to jail, bro. And the resources is definitely gone. You
Mm.
know, Johnny Gill probably worth more than him now. I'm
Now,
just
don't
kidding.
you keep trying to troll Johnny Gill over here and have him suing me. Now, now apologize to Johnny Gill if you lied on
Sorry,
him.
I didn't lie. I didn't lie on him. That's why I said it's like whatever. Johnny, take me to court, nigga. Go, please.
Are
You know
you
what I mean?
willing to go to court?
Yeah. Nigga, like I said, nigga, I saw what I saw. You can't trespass my eyes.
So, what did you see exactly? You were at a
But,
party in the whole. What did you see?
Armand, I'm not remedial. Nigga, I told you what I saw. I think to go over here. Wait, nigga, what did you see? Nigga, I saw nigga the banana in the tailpipe and my, you know, swapping fluids in a major way.
In a real way.
Yeah, if you mad at me about that, I mean, nigga, you just mad. You did it. Be mad. And he too old, man. He like what, 58, 59?
I'm just like,
Oh,
well,
man,
but in my
like
mind, I'm like, how do you see that? Because where were you at in the party? It was just like a
nigga, I
regular
was
Hollywood.
nah. I'm nigga. You gotta understand. This is my first party ever. We just wrapped Coach Carter. So me, I'm walking around. I'm just taking this shit in. I got the same Heineken the whole night because again, these are the weirdos. So I take my Heineken and I just carry it the whole night, so I don't look like a weirdo with no drink. Meantime, I'm just people watching.
But okay,
And
so
nigga,
but hold on, because the gays, they killed me for that. So
well,
I got, because they were saying like you said, these are the weirdos. But why does it have to be weirdos if it's
no,
two
they're
men
not.
kissing?
No, it's not. It's not. No, 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 no. That's a misunderstanding at all. You could be a weirdo. Girls call men weirdos all the time. A weirdo is just, it doesn't necessarily mean a gay man. So my apologies if it was taken in that fashion, because that's not what I was
Well, we just got to clear it up
referring
for the
to at
people, because
all.
then they'll be trashing me saying, "Well, Armand, you let him
Yeah,
call gay people
no,
weirdos up here. Aren't
no.
you gay?"
Listen,
So
listen. My younger brother, born in '84, he is very, very gay. Like Palm Springs, 75-year-old white man gay
Mhm.
boyfriend. So it's I don't have a problem with what anybody do. I just
So
say
I
it's
think you
weird
were saying it
because
was the weird stuff because it's like a Hollywood, like it's almost like this is an
yeah,
induction. It's like you got to do
exactly.
this to get in. I
Dude,
get it.
there's a book by Mark Curry, who was a former bad boy artist, called Dancing with the Devil. I
Hmm.
suggest if y'all haven't read that book, read that book. That book is about 13, 14 years old.
Hmm.
And again, if you guys, just read a little bit.
Eddie Murphy
I,
hasn't come out and said anything, so I think but Eddie Murphy's had a lot of these rumors, so I think that he's just like not saying anything. But I mean, you stood on business. You said what you said. I don't know.
yeah,
Only you, him, and Eddie
yeah.
know the truth.
I mean, God know the truth. Yo, he know the truth, nigga. If you want to sue me, bro. So I'm not hard to find, nigga, at all.
Where you
And I'm
going?
not
What
worried.
you got on? What you got? You want to work out? Let me tell you something really quick. I'm gonna let you go. You could do a backflip at 44. That's crazy. You are really in a really good shape.
Nah, nigga, I could do like 8 back handsprings, do a backflip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in great shape, man. I gotta have good endurance,
Yeah.
especially
So
in
that
my
means you
line
can
of
fight
work.
if you need to do. If you need to. So they better leave
Oh,
you alone.
you don't see this knuckle right here? Nigga, we's not worried about none of that, man. We we could do a pay-per-view thing if we want. Like, you can go get your great nephew if you want, Johnny. Whoever's nigga. For real. Like, nigga, I ain't never been a coward, nigga, never will be.
Yeah.
So,
And
nigga,
I didn't want to get you into no drama here. That wasn't what
nah,
we were trying to do.
nah, it was fun. Like I said, if you mad, you mad. He'll get over it. But I definitely do think that this trial thing is a very big distraction from what's going on 8,000 miles away in Iran. And I
Yes.
think people should really look at that, because that right there is huge. Because there's been a plan to take down 7 countries in like
Hmm.
since 2001, and they almost there.
But we have to be careful about that on YouTube because they get really funny about that stuff and they will demonetize you. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so we can't
Allegedly.
get into that. But yes, thank you so much. I'm gonna hit you up, on the back
Holla at me,
end,
man.
and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Definitely. Yes,
He's
sir.
trouble.
Like, hey.
He plays all day. He's so annoying. He plays straight games. Yo, he is so funny. All right, you all. So we had him in the building. So I will see you all later. You just never know who's going to pop up during the week throughout the show. If you guys didn't make it one, you guys can come back probably tomorrow because it's going to be another light day. So I'll talk to you all later. It's a good day. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 300,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Oh, and a lot of people, side note, are saying that, they feel like I should do a comedy show just because I'll be funny on here. But listen, guys, I don't really know if I'm really funny to like write jokes, but I really want to do something after the trial while we have the momentum, right? Where I can come and meet you guys. I don't know if it's a meet and greet in New York. I don't know if it's like go to different cities and just kind of, I don't know what to do, but I definitely don't want to go and just be on a panel talking about other people. So we got to make it fun. Give me some ideas in the comments. And so I'm here for it. I want to plan something where I can go out and touch some of you guys and like have a good time, and we just kind of laugh and party and key and do some cool stories, right? You never know who might pop up. Maybe we can have Flash come and do some backflips for us, or do some, well, never mind. I was gonna say maybe do a dance or two, but y'all, I ain't got the money for that. All right. So anyway, I love y'all all, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.